Who is Chris Brown and what does he stand for?
Did he really hit her back in 2000?
That's the rumor. I'm not too sure.
We're going to find out later on if that was a psyop. Who is the person that we see in the public eye as Chris Brown?
Wait, has he gotten lighter skin over the years, Barbara?
Like, oh boy, I don't say about that. But I think she probably wants to get back on stage. Let's keep our eyes open to see if she'll come out with a new song or a new video or something.
Yeah.
There was so many rumors when she came on the scene, about her and Jay-Z and all of that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe she didn't go to those parties and stuff like that. I don't know how she stayed out of it with Jay-Z being her manager.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Controversial. Hi everybody, and welcome back to our channel called The Three of Pentacles. We are 3 tarot card readers. We actually read tarot cards. I know a lot of people have heard about tarot cards, and it's gotten a bad rap in some things and a good rap in some other things. And you might be kind of intimidated, maybe not. On my personal readings, a lot of people don't even know what it is, and they're not even afraid. But some people kind of walk by, and kind of myself, I was kind of like, I don't know. At the beginning, I was like, oh, I can look at those. But anyway, you can use everything for good and you can use everything for bad. So let's just say it like that. And the three of us, we like to help people get insight. We like to help ourselves get insight through tarot cards. We also pray. We also meditate. We do a lot of things. So this is just the beginning. So keep your eyes open. So yes, we have 3 tarot card readers. We like to read on world events and the hot topics around that's happening. And in this video, we're going to be reading, this is a viewer's request.
Yep.
This viewer wants to know about Rihanna and Chris Brown. Okay, and they're not together anymore, but they used to be together years ago, and they had this controversial relationship. Rihanna is a pop star, R&B star. She's known all around the world. She's originally from Barbados, and Kaila reminded me of that. And yes, I do have some Barbadians in my family. I'm not Barbadian, but by marriage. So yeah, she represented, she kept her accent just like Kaila says, and everybody's really, really proud of her. And she just seems like a really, really good girl. So the viewer wants to know, is she really? And then Chris Brown, he's a R&B star, and he's known by his wonderful, smooth voice. He is a great dancer. I believe he was one that taught Justin Bieber how to dance. And so they were together. So we're going to read on these two. But before we do that, I would like to introduce my 2 woo sisters, my beautiful sisters, Lynn and Kaila.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
And my name is Barbara. And welcome to our channel. It's for entertainment purposes, but not only, as we go deep. So we're going to read on Rihanna and Chris Brown. So let's take a look at some images. This is one of the images that she did on Super Bowl 2023.
Yep.
Yeah. With her dancers. And so a lot of,
And she was pregnant.
some people think that a lot of these Super Bowl halftimes are kind of diabolical. They have some subliminal messages and all types of things. But we're going to read about Rihanna, what she stands for, who she really is. And yeah, now that's her with Chris Brown back in the day, 2009, 2010, I believe. Lovebirds in Love.
Yeah, it looks
And
like they were
everybody-
back together in 2012, so they must have had a breakup for a while. On again, off again. Yeah.
Kaila, what do you know about Rihanna?
I'm originally from the Caribbean, and I remember when she became famous, it was like a proud moment for the entire Caribbean because she was a Caribbean girl, supposedly found by Jay-Z back home, and then she blew up. She became so popular, and I remember hearing everyone talk about that accent that she continued. Sometimes when they make it across to the US, they totally lose their identity from back home, but she always had that Bajan accent, and everybody loved that about her. Now we've seen lots of things happen, ups and downs, and we have read on Jay-Z before, and that's a little bit iffy on that topic. And being that she was found by him, discovered by him, it'll be interesting to see what we get in the cards today.
Yes. So we'll first read on her, who she is, what she stands for, and then we'll read on Chris Brown and then their relationship. Would you all like to do it like that?
Sure, that
Sounds
sounds good. We know.
Would you like me to pull on Rihanna?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
A Caribbean girl put on a Caribbean girl.
Sounds
Did
good.
did he really hit her back in 2022?
Real? Is
Oh
it a
no,
psyop?
it says it was his
An
2009
old
fight,
one,
his
yeah.
former. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
2000. Yeah, that
2009.
famous.
I didn't think it was because I thought she was pregnant. It looks like well, that was that one. That looks like that must be her husband,
Hmm.
the baby's father, whatever. I don't know if she's married or not. I don't know anything about her. She's
Yeah.
not one that I follow, so.
And those pictures were basically when that big story hit about they were in a car together and he beat her up or something like that. We're gonna find out later on if that was a psyop, if it was just a fake story, or if it was real. It would be
I mean,
sad if it was
it
real.
looks like she was beat up, and
Beat
that
up,
looks
yeah.
like
Yeah,
that could really be her.
yeah.
So,
Or maybe she was beat by somebody else and said it was him. Who knows with these people? Who knows
yeah,
with these people?
yeah.
And yeah, we'd like to see if they're both, dark cult kids, the good, bad, double agents, capitulated, see what the cards say.
It'll be
Let's see.
interesting to see. I remember Janine pulling on her after the Super Bowl. So it'll be interesting to see what we get, see if it's concurring.
Do you remember what she got?
Yeah, that she had capitulated.
Okay, I think I remember that.
I think I don't think she wanted to be in the system, but got there and was trying to do what she could. And if I recall correctly, I think she came over on her own.
That's really odd because it's almost like once you get in, it's how are you going to get out? They say you have to like do things to really, you have to like end your life to get out. That's the only way
Well,
they said, but some of them are able to get out.
yeah.
Sometimes
Well,
with the right help.
The latest I've heard recently is that she has been focusing on her kids and her new pregnancy, and she's not too much into the music business anymore. At least that's the rumor. I'm not too sure. Some interesting cards here. It's almost like if it didn't give us a clear answer, but there are no bad cards here. You don't see the devil. We don't see the moon card. We don't see like the King of Cups which would tend to mean some kind of shady things. It's looking a lot to me like she's been going slowly and carefully in the past, similar to what Janine was getting. And so now she's focusing on family life with that Ten of Cups there. So I'm seeing like it's like if she's had enough. It's like if she's shining a light on something with the Hermit card here. I'm not sure if maybe she's in the background spilling the tea, but there's some kind of disappointment there. And we're seeing the Page of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. I'm not sure if this would have to do with what she's seen happen in the background, or is it that she's more focused on her children right now?
how did you
How did you ask the question?
ask the question?
Yeah, so it was just like you were saying, what does the cards want to tell us about her character? Is she one who has, played around with the bad side of Hollywood and is, stands for that, or is she good?
I mean, she's right. There's nothing bad there. You got the Knight of Swords, which is normally our good military card, which to me kind of goes along with what Janine got with the Super Bowl, that she kind of capitulated and came over.
Because it's interesting that card came up for her,
Yeah,
the Knight
yeah.
of Swords.
Either that or it's indicating maybe she was a he, and I don't know. I know the Ten of Cups, you've got the family there, and but it can be also a facade, the whole family thing as well. So, but I'm not seeing anything outwardly evil about her, like you were saying, for sure.
The Ten of Cups is not badly aspected to me,
No,
though.
it's not. It's not. Other than a little bit of disappointment. And so, what do you think, Barbara?
Well, the two major arcanas is the Chariot and the Hermit. So the Chariot is going in bold and fast and furious with something, and then the Hermit is someone that goes within, that seeks knowledge, so maybe she's at a point where she's really seeking knowledge and seeking her spirituality. Knight of Pentacles, she could have been really careful with her career because she's just so attractive and so talented. She got really, really big. Well, I'm getting like, I wouldn't be surprised if she she's not really disappointed in her family, but I think she probably wants to get back on stage. Let's keep our eyes open to see if she'll come out with a new song or a new video or something really soon. Queen of Wands is truth and integrity. 10 of Wands, so that's wand energy. Maybe it was kind of hard for her to keep true to herself when she was in her career.
I would imagine it would be for most of them. Yeah.
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 King of Pentacles is abundance. Okay, of course she has an abundance, and that could also mean a rich man. So I don't know. Maybe there's a rich man in her life besides her husband. Maybe her father, or maybe really getting who it is. But that, I don't
She was
get into that
pretty young.
part
She was pretty young when she came over, right? When Jay-Z brought her over.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So it seems like Rihanna is, she comes out as a pretty good person. In
You wanna
fact, when I
ask
see her,
We can ask some more questions and get some clarifiers if you'd like.
Yeah.
what would you like to ask, Lynn? Did
Did
she
she did she capitulate?
7 of Wands, and I'm just gonna get two clarifiers: the Star and the Knight of Wands.
the Knight of Wands?
Yeah. The other.
Yeah, I think so. And the 7 of Wands
Yeah.
sort of says like it's like if she's sticking to her own. It's like if, as you said, she looks like she did this on her own, or
Yeah.
it was on her own
Yeah.
initiative.
Yep. Yep. She came over, so she saw so much. Do we want to ask clarifiers if she ever partook in the party substance or any of, let's just say, do we want to say party substance, ditty parties, any of that, or, any of the dark stuff? Did she?
3 of Wands, 6 of Swords, and 4 of Swords.
The Three of Wands is somebody that looks at something at a distance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Six of Swords is somebody that's moving out of troubled water. So she's moving away from,
Yeah. She was able to skate around it, I think, and keep it quiet.
and the Four of Swords is hidden. So maybe she kind of stayed hidden in a way, not hidden as a person that you can't see her, but it's like she just didn't actively participate in certain things.
Maybe she didn't go to those parties and stuff like that. I don't know how she stayed out of it with Jay-Z being her manager.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But good on her if she did, Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because there was so many rumors when she came on the scene, about her and Jay-Z and all of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, you look at her complexion and her eyes are very similar to Beyonce's. So
Okay.
very similar.
Yeah, they were comparing her to Beyonce and how they were saying
Yeah.
that Jay-Z had left her because he had a younger version of Beyonce, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm not saying that. So, all right, well, she seems like a pretty good. So what I would like to do is I'd like to do that same thing on Chris Brown, like a general. Who is he?
Okay.
What does he represent? What does he stand for? Where does he come from? Okay, and I'll do that. Who is the person that we see in the public eye as Chris Brown?
Wait. Has he gotten lighter skin over the years, Barbara?
Could be some of them, like, they do
They do
like
the lighting processes and stuff. Yeah.
some of them do vitamin C pushes,
Okay.
and I think vitamin C could do that to your complexion, whatever complexion you are.
Okay.
It'll lighten you up. I'm not a doctor. I can't say, what it will do, but what I hear. You do your own research to see what
All right.
vitamin C is very good for you. But at the same time, if you get the vitamin IV, it could mess up your complexion. So just be careful with that.
Yeah, because I was like looking at him here, and granted, he dyed his hair blonde as well. And I was like, boy, he looks a lot lighter than in some of these older pictures of him. It's like, okay,
Okay, here we go. Getting Chris Brown here.
you got it.
All right, let's see. I am on it. Chris Brown. And you're going to be very surprised.
And he's in the news again recently. Apparently he's in some trouble in the UK.
Oh, so those arrest things were something new?
Yeah.
Ah.
Seems that there was allegedly an attack on a music producer in a London nightclub. in 2023.
You know, some of these stories, I gotta say, I gotta tell you, I think some of them are created by the same
Well, I
person
think
that
so
they
when they're
say that.
trying to bring them down. Absolutely.
Yeah, who knows?
Absolutely.
Either
Like
that
they
or
did the Mel Gibson.
some of them create stories so they can have news about them, because bad news
Yeah.
is good is, you know, as
Well,
long
Good
as people talk
publicity.
about you.
Any publicity is good publicity, they
yeah,
say.
it's like they say a lot of the Hollywood marriages, they're not really married. It's just for the publicity and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So this is Chris Brown.
yeah.
Who is Chris Brown and what does he stand for? Chris Brown comes out as the Two of Wands, someone that looks at a distance. And that's the same thing that we got for Rihanna. She got the Three of Wands. He was the Two of Wands. So someone who's at distance. And she also had the Queen of Wands. So that's truth and that's integrity. The Queen of Swords is truth. And she gives you the truth, and she gives you very direct, brutal truth, and even legal truth as well. The death card is the ending, and that's how it looks to the public of who he is now. It looks like his career is coming to an end because he's older, and now they have these younger girls out in the audience that's kind of like liking him, but he's like an older fella. Not that he's older, it's just that his career is old compared to we have the hangman. The hangman is someone that's in an uncomfortable position while being enlightened. So he's being enlightened with something right now. He's waiting for something. He's chilling. He's waiting for something to happen. The strength card is, of course, strength in someone that endures. So he can stay at a safe distance in that whole career thing, enduring. I'm just thinking, what are these cards talking about? I'm thinking that we're going to get something completely different. And here we are talking about all this great stuff about Chris Brown. So it looks like however, there's the King of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. So there's a couple of things. And I left that Three of Swords upside down because it came upside down. So he has pain and suffering and fear and trials and tribulations, but I guess he's dealing with it because it's upside down. If it was right side up like this, it would be just somebody's just living that, just going through it. But it's upside down, so he's going through it, but it's kind of stuck energy, let's say. What do y'all think about that King of Cups and the Two of Pentacles? He's got a couple things that he's hiding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm thinking so. It's as if I'm getting with these cards that he does have to balance a lot of his emotions. I do get some fiery energy with that Queen of Swords in the past. I feel like he does have a temper.
Yeah.
And with so many of these Wands cards, yes, we have the Two of Wands as him, but with the Strength just below, it's almost like if, yes, he could be quite safe, but then it could become volatile. That's
Yeah.
what I'm getting. And with the Strength card and then the Page of Wands, I feel like he does have a little bit of a how to say it, childish, juvenile type energy sometimes about him where he could just trip off. So yes, there is some sort of transformation here with the Death card. Maybe he's going through a long process of change. Maybe, as you said, with the Three of Swords upside down, there's some sort of things that he's been working on because he hasn't been in the news, to me, at least as far as I remember, for anything like so bad until recently. Before it was Rihanna, and that was like about 2009 we saw it before, and then now he's back in the news. And then we have the Queen of Wands here for the situation, which is usually a good card, right? This is someone who is intuitive, unless it can go the other side, but we don't have it badly aspected too much here. So I think, yes, he does have that bit of both. He does have that intuitive side, as you were saying, and so on. But he does have a bit of a fiery attitude showing up too.
Yeah. Do you want to pull a couple clarifiers, Barbara? See if he's participated in any of the naughty stuff? Since we asked about Rihanna, we got to ask about him because that King of Cups and that Two of Pentacles could mean he had to balance or,
And going back and forth.
yeah.
I think he got more into it than Rihanna did because the first card is the Nine of Swords, so that's a worrisome card. So he was into it. When a question comes up, and this card comes up, it's like, yeah, it really made you worry, and not necessarily just worry for nothing. It just and because it's also aspected with the Tower.
Yeah. And that may be why the Three of Swords came upside down, because he's trying to work through that.
Exactly. And the third card came up as the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, he had something. Maybe that's why we got the King of Cups.
Yep,
There was
absolutely.
a couple of things that was going on with him.
Do
So
we know if he's do we want to ask if he's capitulated? Is he flying solo, or has he come over to the good side?
yeah, let me shuffle really quick and I'll do a 3-card pull on him.
Careful.
Okay.
Okay.
So if he has come over to the good side, he hasn't capitulated. And I didn't see any of that in the
No,
in the
nothing.
pool, so,
Nothing
but
was showing in there. That's why I'm curious. Where does he stand? He might still just be kind of independent and trying to do his own thing to get out.
I got a soft yes. And you see, that's what he was thinking about. He was chilling about. The Hangman comes up again. So he's kind of contemplating and kind of waiting around to see if he can go ahead, how he can do it. Let me pull a third one. Get another Page of Pentacles. Yeah. So this is all new energy and soft yeses. That's what he was chilling and thinking about and getting inside about. So he's probably on his way of capitulating. That's what we get here in the cards. Do you want to do a quick pull on to see if they were Cabal kids?
I think you'd have to do that individually.
Okay.
Well, I can do Rihanna, and you want to do Chris Brown?
Yeah, we can even do a 3-card pull
Yeah.
if they belong to
Yeah.
Cabal families growing up.
I mean, you'd almost think, how does Rihanna leave the Caribbean, leave her family at such a young age if she wasn't? But
Okay, I get it. Who am I pulling on?
you're pulling
Chris
us
Brown.
back.
Okay, I'm getting a big yes with his. The Tower. And that's what was hidden. You see, that's a King of
Yeah.
Cups again.
Yep, yep.
And the third one is the Three of Wands. So maybe that's what he wanted to get. He wants to get away from that.
Yeah.
That's a big yes. And in a very violent way. Explosive way.
Yep.
Hidden explosive way that he would like to get out of.
What you got, Kaila, on Rihanna?
For Rihanna, I have the Seven of Pentacles, and the clarifiers are the High Priestess first, and then the Ten of Swords. So something hidden about this. The Seven of Pentacles.
Seven of Pentacles. I don't know. The
Not
Seven of
screaming, it's not
Pentacles.
screaming a yes. And I mean,
It's not
she was,
screaming a yes.
and
Yeah,
the
that
other
doesn't
was
make
saying that
sense.
she wasn't participating on your earlier
Right.
poll. So
Yeah.
I would
It's
tend to
not-
say she probably wasn't.
Yeah.
But it's not screaming a yes, but a Seven of Pentacles
But
is somebody
something-
that's actively participating in something, actively making something happen, working on something. So maybe
was
she worked
working on
with
her
them.
career, and she
Yeah.
might. Well, she had to work with Jay-Z, so she definitely had to do some stuff.
And she probably had to surrender to some things because secretly, because that's what that.
Okay, let's ask it this way: was she sexually abused by them? Like, say, at a Diddy party or something like that. She didn't necessarily have to be into the party substance, but perhaps she was being abused and. Yeah.
King of Swords, the Moon, and the Six of Wands.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I can speak from my experience of being in the Caribbean. Now, back then, I grew up in the Caribbean, lived there for all my life until, when was it? 2000, around 2000, 2013. And then I left. But in the Caribbean now, there have been talk about these Illuminati groups and all of that. So I'm sure there are some elite families there as well, tied to certain things. But I don't feel like it's as prominent as, in some of the bigger countries, but who knows?
Yeah, I
No,
think
it
everywhere.
almost seems like the ones that are up closer to the States is where you find that, where all our elites have their own little islands down, because Barbados isn't that far from Trinidad, is it?
It's not far at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what we were told, it seems like Jay-Z was in Barbados and he heard her performing, and then he was drawn to her, and so that could probably be what the Seven of Pentacles is. She was working and he spotted her.
What do you think that High Priestess is?
That is High Priestess, something shady about that. But
Yeah.
this
Well,
card sometimes doesn't want us to know or doesn't want
Yep,
to say. That's
absolutely.
why we're
Yeah.
trying to wrap our heads around what exactly it's saying.
okay, well, we'll leave that question there, but I have one more question about them. When he so-called beat her up back in 2008 or 2009, was that true, or was it a true story? Was it a psyop? What was it? I'll do a 3-card pull on that. Would y'all like me to do that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Story that we know about this beating up on Rihanna that proposed to the public. Was it true or was it not true? What do the cards want us to know about that? Okay, this is soft yes. So something did happen between them, but not like they say it did.
Not
Right?
surprising. Yeah.
8 of Cups, you see that means that, you're putting distance between you and what really happened. So that doesn't, somebody walked away from
Right.
that situation, but something did happen. Something did happen. You see that? Ace of Wands. I believe something did happen with them, but it didn't happen exactly like they portrayed it in the public.
That's why you got the gossip and innuendo card, the Page of Swords, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, the Page of Swords, exactly, Page
Yeah,
of Swords.
yeah.
So something did happen. Who knows if it really happened with him, let's see, or if it happened with somebody else, and then it says, let's say that it happened with you and Chris. So did it really happen with her and Chris? Let's see. Get the Hermit and Wheel of Fortune. So there's 2 major arcana. So it maybe he was there, but they flipped the story some type of way. Maybe he was there.
Well,
But-
again, if he was being sexually abused or whatever, that could have happened during that, and then they could have said it was him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I knew there was something weird about that story.
yeah.
All right, so we have found out that Rihanna is on the good side. I guess she capitulated just like Janine had gotten. We found out that Chris Brown is not this crazy, nasty guy, even though he's accused of a lot of stuff. And
Not the cleanest either.
not the cleanest.
He's straightening
either.
out he's trying to straighten out his life now, which is good, but
Exactly. He's in the midst right now as we speak, according to the cards, entertainment purposes. He's in the midst of getting his self together. So,
Or at least
And-
thinking about it, yeah.
yeah.
yeah. And it doesn't look like they're, Chris Brown was like a cabal kid, but she wasn't a cabal kid.
Right.
What did we get?
Doesn't
Yeah.
look like it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like. And that fight that they had, something did happen, but it could have happened in a whole different way. And they said it was him. And that's what we get for Rihanna and Chris Brown for the viewer's question. And if you have any other questions about them, we'll be more than I'm just straightening out my cards because it's like all. We can do some more questions if you have any more questions about that, or if anybody else has anything else that they would like for us to read on it, we'll be happy to do it.
So
And so yeah, I think that would conclude the video about Rihanna and Chris Brown.
absolutely.
Thank you all for watching our video, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you. We are at how many subscribers now? We are at
163 or something like that.
163. We would really like to get to 200. So you all out there, please tell all your friends that have like-minded friends and family and colleagues, and tell them about us. So watch the videos all together, put them on the big screen, and have fun, have a laugh, and just
Have
try to
everybody
kinda get in-
subscribe.
and have everybody subscribe, of course. So with that said, Kaila is going to tell you where we can be seen and found and heard and listened to.
Right, so we are on YouTube, Rumble, we have a Facebook community, it's called the Three of Pentacles community, and we're now on Instagram, so please join us there. Remember, we will never contact you first, so please beware of scammers. We will never ask you for money or anything like that, so please look out. All right, and thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all of you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.